There's this one retirement mistake that thousands of people make every single year. And the crazy part is, by the time they realize it, it's already too late. It's a permanent financial choice, and it's tied to one specific birthday. So, picture this. You're 72 years old. You're feeling good. You're in the driver's seat of your financial life. You've got all these options, a ton of flexibility to shape your future. But then, you turn 73, and just like that, poof, some of those really powerful options you had, they're just gone. That window of opportunities starts to slam shut. And here's the kicker. They're not coming back. Ever. The path is set, and you can't change course. It's permanent. So what is this big unfixable mistake we're talking about? Well, it all circles back to something you've probably heard of, required minimum distributions, or RMDs for short. And let me be clear. The mistake isn't about breaking the RMD rules. No. The mistake is missing a huge opportunity before those rules kick in and lock you into a path you can't escape. Okay, so let's dig in. Why is this so unfixable? It all comes down to those required minimum distributions. And believe me, the clock is ticking. Right. So an RMD is pretty straightforward. The IRS basically says, hey, you've got to start taking money out of your traditional 401k or IRA. Simple enough. But here's what almost everyone gets wrong. The RMD itself isn't the villain here. The real problem is what the RMDs prevent you from doing. They put up a huge wall, stopping you from making some really smart moves. Think of it like this. RMDs create a new income floor for you in retirement. It's a minimum amount of taxable income you have to report every single year. You can't duck under it. You can't skip a year. It's just there. It's a floor that you're stuck with permanently. And this floor doesn't stay put. Oh no, it rises every single year. It all kicks off at age 73, when the IRS makes you pull out about 3.8% of your traditional retirement savings. And that's just the starting line. Flash forward a bit. You're 80 years old. And now that mandatory withdrawal is up to 5% of your entire account. Hit 85 and you're looking at taking out more than 6.3%. You see where this is going, right? It's just a relentless climb year after year. And by the time you're 90, it's a whopping 8.2%. This isn't just a number. This rising tide of forced income can shove you into higher tax brackets you never expected. And it can trigger other nasty surprises, like those Medicare surcharges, which, are basically extra penalties you have to pay just because your income is now too high. Okay, that's the theory. But what does this actually look like for a real person? Let's get super practical. We're going to look at two paths someone could take. Same person, same money, but one very different choice. So let's meet David. He's 65, he's married, and he's done a great job saving. He's got $1.5 million in his traditional retirement accounts. Now, what he decides to do in the next few years is going to have some pretty massive consequences. All right, check this out. This is the fork in the road. On the left, we've got scenario A. This is David doing, well, nothing. He just lets things ride. His first RMD is almost 80 grand. Ouch. Now look at the right, scenario B. Here, David is proactive. He makes some smart moves before he turns 73. And wow, look at the difference. His RMD is nearly cut in half. He pays $5,000 less in federal tax, and he totally sidesteps those painful Medicare penalties. Let's just add that up for a second. That's $5 grand in tax savings, plus another $3,500 in Medicare savings. We're talking more than $8,500 back in his pocket, and that's just in year one. And this is not a one-and-done deal. You stretch this out over his whole retirement, say 20 years, and the savings are just staggering. He could save anywhere from $150,000 to $250,000. That's life-changing money left on the table by doing nothing. So you're probably asking, how did David do it? What's the secret sauce in scenario B? It's simple, really. He used what we call the golden opportunity window. It's this incredible period of time that, honestly, most people don't even realize is there. This timeline lays it out perfectly. The day you retire, your W-2 income, it stops. And that creates this amazing tax gap. It's a few years, usually between, say, 65 and 72, where your income is probably the lowest it will ever be again. This is prime time for Roth conversions, paying a little tax now at a low rate to save a ton later. But then you hit 73, the RMDs start, and that window, it slams shut.
for good. It is a classic use it or lose it situation.
So why is this window so, well, golden? Think about it. Your big salary is gone. Maybe you've smartly decided to delay taking Social Security, so that's not hitting your income yet. And of course, the RMDs haven't kicked in. What does that leave? It leaves your lowest tax brackets, the 10%, the 12%, totally empty. They are just sitting there wide open, begging to be filled up strategically.
Okay, so we've laid out the problem and we've identified this incredible opportunity. So what now? Let's get down to brass tacks. Here's a 7-step action plan you can use to make sure you don't miss out.
First things first, you got to figure out your own tax gap. How much room do you actually have in those low tax brackets? Step 2, and this is crucial, don't wait. Start this planning the minute you stop working. Step 3 is the art of it all. Convert just enough each year to fill up those nice low brackets, but not so much that you spill over into the more expensive ones. And number 4, you've got to be mindful of those Medicare income thresholds. You don't want a smart tax move to accidentally cost you more in premiums.
All right, step 5, state taxes matter, especially if you're thinking about moving in retirement. A move to a no-income tax state could be a huge part of your strategy. 6, remember, this isn't a one-time thing. Think of it as a multi-year project, not a single decision. And finally, maybe the most important advice of all, start thinking about this at age 60, not 69. The earlier you plan, the bigger that golden window is and the more you can accomplish.
You know, it's so easy to think that just leaving your accounts alone is the safe, conservative play. But the truth is, doing nothing is absolutely a choice. And as we saw with David, it can be the single most expensive choice you make in your entire retirement.
So I'll leave you with this question. That golden window, that once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to use your lowest tax brackets, it might be open for you right now. The only question is, are you going to use it or are you going to lose it forever?